In a normal presentation, you show your slides, you show data, and say, look, bleeding on probing here, huh? Also integration, wonderful. But talking about career is a strange topic. It's ups and downs, but career is not something you should plan. I'm going to make career. You know, I will become famous. I will become a famous professor. I think that's the wrong plan. Career is something that happens naturally. You don't have to kill people to make career. You should have a childhood dream. The successful people in life are not those who have the best marks in school. So if you were not the number one schoolboy or schoolgirl in school, doesn't matter. As long as you have a kind of vision, a kind of light tower. Because every day in our life, we have to make decisions. Should I go to SEPA? Should I stay at home? Should I have a lovely lunch outside? Or should I sit here watching Mr. Gruber speaking? All decisions you make. And there's a reason you make a decision. Decisions come not by chance. Decisions are based on your philosophy. You have a big vision, even though you don't know it sometimes. But all your life sometimes gets you to your big dream. That's decision making. And this is based on sometimes being a child and having a vision. Strange, huh? James Bond, Dean Martin, Fred Astaire. Who is David? Who is David? I will come to that. So, when you're a child, you look for role models. You can take your parents, but usually, you want to be different. So what are your role models? You have to, in my opinion, find some interesting people, and I always found James Bond very interesting. He could do everything at a very high level. When he played against Goldfinger, golf, he was winning, so he could play golf. So you have to learn that. He can even sing. If you remember also Dr. No, he was singing together with Ursula Andress. So many things. He's a good car driver. And of course, he's quite successful in his relationship with women. So also not uninteresting for men. So if you want to become an interesting person, or Dean Martin, a good singer, charming person, Fred Astaire, a good dancer. So this is everything you have to learn, and to you cannot just say when you're 35 or 50 or 40 and a lady comes to you and say, hey, Professor Gruber, do you like to dance with me? And then I said, of course, come on. You cannot, it's too late to learn so late, huh? So you have to always have a vision, what you need to know. It sounds a bit strange, but this is a kind of attitude of always learning something and have models and try to improve. Of course, when you are, let's say, 12 years old, you don't have the vision of a professor, so you have other things. Why did I put David on this slide? I know, David Niven. You know, the Pink Panther, this charming gentleman, David Niven, he moved always nicely and had a very nice smile. So David Niven. Okay. Regrets. You know the song? Regrets, I had a few. How should I say, regrets? Some things you cannot do. When you are inspired by academic career, you should do the things that need to be done when you're young. So, what I mean is, there is a time in life, let's say when you are 15 to 25 something, you need to party, you need to drink, you need to be crazy, you need to kiss. You should do all the things that are a bit energetic consuming, because later on it's very hard. So I would recommend you to have a, let's say, active life. And when you are, let's say, 40 or 50, don't look back and say, I missed something. And then comes the time when you really have to work. In my case, when you are in science, you are very lonesome. You're a lonely wolf. So for many, many years, I did not see the sun. It sounds strange. It's not fully true, but it's a funny story. Once in a year, I went with my classmates from school. We went hiking on the mountains. And then we took a picture. And we had to undress, not completely, but let's say the shirt. All my friends had this brown, lovely sun tan, and I was always white. Because I spent all the time in this laboratory working. Therefore, they called me caveman. Caveman never sees the sun. But that's fine. As long as you have the vision, you should not regret. So please don't think that here stands a crazy person who was hiding from social society. No, but being successful in academia is a very high level of dedication. You cannot do everything. You cannot have a dog, a girlfriend, participate in car races, be in science, go out every night. That's not possible. You have to make decisions. So, caveman. Not all your friends will accept the way you live. Because, let's say, you have a girlfriend, and this girlfriend has regular working hours. from 9 to 5. Wonderful. And then you have a friend who is a scientist. They have no working hours. The working hours means they work on the weekend, they work until the sun goes down, and so on. So for a career, you need to find a person that is not just accepting what you do, is supporting you. And please find an intelligent friend, girlfriend, boyfriend. Because for a successful life, I'm not talking about a career, a successful life, you need a person you can grow together, you can exchange. That's important. Otherwise, you go different ways. You know? Find an intelligent person. Not all people will be compatible. Mentorship. You will not make any career without mentorship. You can be smart. You have everything you need, but without mentors, you will not succeed. For many reasons. Ludwig was one of my first mentors. And he told me that life of a researcher is hard. In the beginning, I was like a young dog, you know, quack, quack, quack. Funny, motivated, but I was a bit weak. And Ludwig told me that this is a business and you have to take it serious. It's not a game. If you like to know what Ludwig told me, I will tell you in a break, but he told me you have to know a lot. You should wake up and do reading. Not just go to conferences and say, oh, I don't like to read, I go to a conference and they will tell me. No, you have to print out, read. Huh? Jeff and Will. Jeff is Jeff Hollinger and Will is William Chernobyl. I can talk for hours about these people, and to make it short, they are models for professors the way I like to be. Actually, you choose the people you feel close. You could choose others. You could go to other professors that are, very hard and very tough. And if you like this style, it's fine. Then it's your mentors. But I like this elegant, humanistic, smooth, and very professional style of these two gentlemen. William Chernobyl, as you know, is now the dean of Harvard Dental School. So they deserve all my respect and appreciation. You need these models. You need a bit of an orientation. The palm. It's very dangerous to grow too fast. In academia, sometimes, people have their first publications and they go to a conference and say, look, I have a paper, I am a superstar. This is not good because people are jealous and you get troubles. I would recommend like a palm tree. Palm trees first make a broad basis. Once they have reached this, then they slowly start to grow. Don't grow too early. Then it's easy to remove you. You don't have to follow my strategy or my vision, but I think this is at least what I think. It's so frustrating sometimes. So, to be honest, in research, you deal with frustrations, but you should not give up. When you are, maybe we should not say research, in academia, in this academic environment. Frustrations are everywhere, but you should learn from them, you should understand, and perseverance. Don't give up. You know these small dogs? These small dogs, if they bite you, they're very small, but they don't give up, they stay. So when you are very weak and you say, everything is so frustrating, and and it's not, I'm not guilty, it's here, don't go to academia. Do something else. So if you have to say, okay, this is frustrating, but next day I start again. Don't give up. Rejections from papers. So many rejections. The reviewer says, yeah, but you did not do this and that, and said, this reviewer is a stupid person, and then you even want to write an email and say, this reviewer is, and say, no, go to sleep, have a beer, next day it's better. Therefore you need a mentor to tell you, otherwise you get, you're so, you learn with time what you should avoid, but there's no book, so you have to get some experience. But the message here is, if you are in academia, try to surround yourself with motivated people. Work with motivated people. Don't motivate them. It's impossible to motivate a person. If somebody comes to me and said, I like to do research, wonderful. But the motivation is something that is intrinsic, that comes from inside to outside. I never motivate students. No. If they are not motivated, they are fading out, like they have never been here. Some people come and say, I don't care about research. And suddenly they understand and say, that's exciting. Wow. They are motivated. So don't motivate. At least I never motivate anybody. I just follow, I advise, I guide my friends. But motivation is sometimes like, you should do that, huh? You should do that. This is not motivation. If I tell my children, you should do that, they say, no. As a reflex, no? It's like you put your hammer here, no? You make this. And I said, you should do that. They said, no. And it's good. So be motivated. The older you get and the longer you are in the business, of course you're a mentor, but you become a kind of psychologist because you're old enough that the students trust you. I'm now 53. So sometimes students come to me and say, Professor, I have this problem here and there. So you become also a kind of psychologist, which I think is good. We all should help us and strengthen us. So this is also a bit of a career. The older you get, the more you become a psychologist. And there comes a time in your life when you are no longer caveman. There comes the time when you have kids, and then situation changes. I think it's not easy to make, let's say, when you become father or mother very young, it's not too easy to handle academia, because you have to go to a conference, you have to go to this meeting, you have to write the papers. Kids go to school, to kindergarten, and they have and husband and whatever. So that's very hard. It can be managed, but only when you have the right partner. So you need a very intellectual partner. Kids don't accept, my wife also not, that you stay at the university forever. You have to go home, 4 o'clock, 4:15. So that's also something that changes your life. But it's good. When I was in Michigan, William Chernobyl was leaving the lab, in my opinion, quite early, and said, William, you are such a famous professor. You're a superstar. How can you leave that early? And said, I pick up my son from school. I said, you can be so famous and pick up your son from school. Wow. He's a good manager. So this is something also I have learned from Will. That's possible. Without happiness and smile, no career. Doesn't make fun. Like the children, when they fail, they start again, but they have fun. I'm not saying that academic career and mentorship and everything is just fun, but this a bit naive motivation children have, sometimes I think I have also. So keep smiling and be happy. Because in an academic environment, if you are frustrated and say, everybody else says, we have to be dedicated and relaxed, not frustrated. Frustration makes frustration. Happiness makes happiness. I think this is the last slide. We're becoming very philosophic now. Students are just younger. They're the same. A few years ago, 30 years ago, I was a student. So actually I wanted to talk from this hocker to you, but then you cannot see me. That's the reason why I'm standing here. But we are the same. I'm not a professor talking to you, with the finger. So, you should do this, huh? No. I am your friend, and you should find friends and colleagues, more experienced people willing to support you. Your success is their success. My student's success is my success. So I think humanity, that we respect each other, that's very important. If you have a professor that is a slave driver and says, blah, 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 it's not humanity. Humanity is respect. Listen. And in order to be a human, a nice person, you should once in a while look yourself in a mirror and ask, is it okay what I'm doing? Am I on the right track? Understand yourself. This is a Greek wisdomness. You should understand yourself. And you will see that also your life, your philosophy, your priorities will change. If you try to understand why you make decisions, how you behave, how you react in a family, with your friends, colleagues, then this is very valuable. If you don't ask yourself, or let's turn it around, asking yourself what is important in life makes you a happy, relaxed person, willing to share, and you're not afraid. Some people are so afraid of sharing. If I teach you something, you will destroy me. Stupid enough, it's true, sometimes. My first PhD student, come on, he wanted to kill me, and I gave him all the weapons. It's like Luke Skywalker and his son, who became Darth Vader. Or his father, sorry. So, I don't know how to stop here, but I think you could ask questions, and maybe I have an answer. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Reinhard, for such an inspirational speech.
Thank you.
It's true that the primary endeavor of educators like us, it's to provide the research to the students in order to really develop their major. It's not a matter of motivation or trying to punish them, every once in a while in order to follow your footsteps. It's their decision.
Yeah.
And I could capture very nicely a few of the take-home messages that you provided. I would like to highlight that frustration, it's something that we cannot really fight against it.
Yes.
We'll get, Reinhard, myself, we get rejected papers. So when you get your first rejection, when you submit a paper to any journal, you have to think that there is no one against you. There is no one even against what you did. It's just a matter of luck or not. Once in a while, if you get with a more friendly, we can say referee, or with one that is not really following the philosophy that you have supplied. Secondly, to get surrounded by good people, by good human beings, and people that provides you good vibes.
Yes.
And that's also a key for happiness.
Yeah.
Also, as I shared at the beginning, we shared the mentorship of Will Ginobili. And indeed, I think that another key aspect in order to have a successful career is to set a role model and follow his or her footsteps. And that's really critical, I think. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to hand over to any of the participants in case that they want to ask you any other question. I'm sure that Dr. Gruber is going to be more than happy to address it. ¿Tenéis alguna pregunta?
You can also ask me in the break. You don't have to ask me in the public, because something is delicate. Yeah.
I have a question. If a student wants to do a PhD thesis, how can his or him develop his PhD with other university than his own university? How is the management of do his PhD with our other university, with other facilities?
Okay, so if I understood correctly, the question is, if you're in a PhD program, let's say in Barcelona, how can you, let's say, spend half a year or 1 year abroad and then you return? But
if they have different facilities or are more used with some technique, like to grow in this?
The answer is very simple. Mentorship. You need to have a PhD supervisor that has a kind of network. And then actually you write the email and say, I have a student who wants to learn this and that, can she come? Then it's yes. But the problem is sometimes it's the money. It's not the traveling, because traveling means get apartment, housing, food. So you need, let's say, at least, for example, if you come to Vienna, €1,000 per month. If you have it, you can come. It's, you know, it's easier than you think.
Thank you a lot for the talk. It was really inspiring. I would ask for people that want to get into PhDs or academies, what would you tell them, like the first steps for this long walk?
Successful people produce successful PhDs. If I would start a PhD, I would start looking at the publication list of the supervisor. If this is an empty page, don't do it. If this is a long page and you see it's a small manufactory, then this is a good place, because then you get into this, let's say, professional environment. But if it's just a PhD, you know, look for something else. Do another PhD, but PhD should be challenging. You know what PhD means? Doctor of Philosophy. Doctor of Philosophy. The PhD should bring you to the borders of your own capacity. I don't mean the working, you know, this is technician. No, intellectual. You should, the beginning of your PhD and the end, you should be a different person. Not just scientifically, but from your personal development. More mature, wiser, more careful, more strategic. You see how Doctor of Philosophy, it's not Doctor of Pipetting.
Thank you very much for your presentation. You gave some advices regarding frustration, and I wanted to know, how do you manage stress in this environment? Because while doing a master or a PhD, it's a very stressful environment. Maybe you have some recommendations for us.
Yeah, there's no advice. You just have to get older. When I was young, I was not robust. Something happened and I said, oh, it's not good. But you should not give up. And then you get a bit more, let's say, robust. Also, people should help you. Also, mentorship. You should talk. If you're alone with your frustration, you know, you sit there and say, oh, I'm so frustrated. That's not good. It's like a cancer, no? No, you should talk to a mentor and say, mentor, I'm a bit frustrated because this and that. And this person should say, I understand you. This is not an easy situation. Let's try to get out of this. Maybe we can try this one. If you succeed in getting successful out of your own frustration, you become stronger. You know?
Thank you.
Frustration is a chance.
Thank you very much for sharing your perspective in a very successful career. We congratulate you for your career, and SEPA and by myself, we acknowledge very much your time in sharing really this very comprehensive perspective.